60 billion Ghana cedis. Unless their 2025 budget is wrong. Go to page 14, paragraph 143. It says 49.4 billion cedis and not the 60 billion.
And for the people of Ghana to have given the mandate to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to refix the mess that for almost 8 years we had borrowed on the market over $60 billion, and yet we could not manage the city.
When he mentioned that we borrowed to the tune of 60 billion Ghana cedis, unless their 2025 budget is wrong. Go to page 14, paragraph 143. It says 49.4 billion cedis and not the 60 billion.
And for the people of Ghana to have given the mandate to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to refix the mess that this country has been known for 8 years.
He inherited an economy that was in a mess. An economy that was in a mess left 1 trillion of GDP as against 219 billion Ghana cedis in 2016. An economy that was in a mess, Mr. Speaker. We left 4 months of import cover, close to $9 billion. An economy that was in a mess.
Inherited an IMF program that had derailed. We had missed most of the benchmarks that we needed to implement.
He also mentioned that the IMF program was derailed. That is not correct and that is not true. We were here when the finance minister mentioned that when he came, he inherited an arrears to the tune of 68.7 billion, and based on that, he used it to calculate the deficit. Just last week, he came to correct himself, and I was expecting that he will go back to the numbers and correct it. He said they have validated the arrears of 68 billion, and it's only 47.4 billion. That is recognized arrears. So that if it is 47.4 billion that is recognized arrears, how then do you consistently use 6.8 to prove a point? They will have to check their data.
For almost
Enti abusia se wutie ensema ekoso ewo parliament hona bibia kire se NDC ankasa budget na ato forcing e de call parliament no omunim de ya twere ne wom na mane ye wonwa me ba kire mu de nti ekọ ne sa is this a clear say the NDC own budget aye de eya kohomane entoto ya aban na ye se odi bebu oman no for afia edi animi eye 2026 no NDC for no multi parliament ho no omo no munyanya adaje kura nkane ye enhu de ya atwere ne wom ena omo so omo ko debate na sabio yesi ye kese mighty minority a asikire no eye nsem bebre ye wo ha brebi yewura Kinoforiata the budget call parliament. Yenya to force ba ebe kan kire Ghana for say yewura kinoforiata ede budget ne ho ne ma siesie. Yewura mu kobisa say asikire ne sen a osinsem no bi wo ho a ya training budget ne pages na e wo akire bu party ye de asie. Sada na me ba ha be kan kire Ghana for say NDC for omunim akenkan omunye ntere omuntumi nkan niema nti omo ase enti budget na sabio ato force in the call parliament no na onim se okono akwa akohia mokafo ti se ono ne nkrofo no a Saudi people beto ho a edomo anim ti se de odwan ahu semina na busia debate na ekoso parliament no ewo senka Ghana ni babia enya botre mre adaje na nka omfa na so ntie bi eniema ekoso parliament concerning this budget because clear say NDC shared that to the Ghana media and the majority of the Ghana media no and our mobile aban na baso abro munim de yatre no budget no sabi enkrofo monte parliament om say from honorable ministers honorable members of parliament omuye NDC for so omumpo no muntumi nkan budget ni hu de ya twa no mu a dia na odwene se radio presenter osori a oti radio anim dia ehwehwemu na odwene se watumi aye e wo this budget we ho enti amade ekoso e wo parliament one because ensem na omo atwere ni nyina no e ya atwere asem kwa urem na woko deeper omo ankasa sanye den ekasa e de yi omoto se utie maami abena asaria adongo me de makanche mu da bi se sa adongo no ono no se no yekurasi nipa bank account akura no ntumi ntena ho ma ne yeye oye very very low shadow mind pa onimu hwe se utie asem o mo kan ya papa we do obebie na no bia no onkan nyansasem o he always just try to insult criticizing people but so be kan asem bia nyansa wo mo nkan bida enti so bie na no kan semfo beda bia me kan kire mo say MPP in 87 in parliament as a minority no they are powerful than that 187 MPs or more also mu NDC for their own budget omunim de ya twere ne wo mu. Now I'm coming to show you a video be a trendy year pa video no a trendy year pa yanka say yewia abu Samuel Jinapo enra ye debate or parliament no sorry ebie na no e de nsem bi beto abonten say NDC for episode omfa 1.2 billion US dollars emfa nkoto to brain emfa mra yemfa bi nto helicopter emfa the air force na yemfa bi so nto private jet emfa the presidency na yewura Samuel Jinapo kan asem we no enam NDC for their majority leader kurana the ote parliament on oye the leader of government business no ono ankasa kura budget no on kan enkosi ase hu de ya twere mu osore say or be defend na ban eba be ka say asem abu Jinapo ka no eyentro now the yam konkonko TV video no na we say the ebesi akwakosie at the end papa no sansan na chi ebe ka kire Ghana for say eye nokre say 1.2 billion US dollars no ye de kwa akoto pray ankasa e de ama yewura John Mahama ude yenwura na yentie ye ba na ya to asotie
$2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debt when you cannot pay nurses, when you cannot pay teachers, when you cannot buy farm produce, when you cannot recruit workers.
Nowhere in this budget is $1.2 billion allocated for the purchase of a presidential jet. $1.2 billion.
Speaker, we have the budget.
Eti abusuantie. Yewura na okasa sesia na na fene Honorable Mahama Ayarega. One na the majority leader in parliament. Samuel Jinapo e de beto abonten say budget num NDC aban atwere so kwa akoto print e de abre president any military. Na Samuel Jinapo kan asem we no Mahama Ayarega budget no eda na nima on kan hu de ya twa no wom se wa kan so e na on ase a I cannot explain. Ebe gina ho kan say nye no korekora say NDC for so mo de 1.2 billion US dollars se kwa koto plane abagana eho e na ho na mo domfre eso di gina se da bi o budget re da wani me ye wa ankasa o budget nya ma won kan ye nya nto ba se na memie bie mu nkire wo na hwe ba bia ya twere se ye de 1.2 billion ankasa e koto plane dia bre president amana sorry e de tutu kwan wo de tie video no and this is for who esiro they are very funny people yenko.
I'm starting from page 184. Page 184. Now, if you look at page 184, and then you come under item 34, 1, 2, 3, retooling of Air Force. That's the first figure I want to quote. No. The figure there is 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. Now, notice it, write it down. And then let's move on to
page 190.
Page 190.
Which is a commitment for 2027.
Now, that is a commitment for 2027. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force and that is 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now let's move on.
Page 196.
Now, Speaker, page 196, page 916, under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, and that is 3.3 billion as against the year 2028. Now let's move on. Now, then we go to page. No, be patient. No. Now, Speaker, come with me to page 202. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, it comes up to some 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, why are you in a hurry? Now, when you put all that together, even granted that even your mathematics is so bad, if you put all the four together, it comes up to 4 years. 4 years. It's captured in the budget. It comes up to 12.9 billion Ghana cedis. Now, who divided yourself?
Maybe 11. So
divide it quickly. I want to convert to dollars. Yes. You people, why are you running away from your budget? Nothing is here. It's here. It comes out to what? The dollars?
it can come out to 1.29 billion.
Okay. Yes. Yes. This is 11 or 10? 10. Now, Speaker. Speaker, do a simple arithmetic and you are able to convert it into dollars. A simple arithmetic. Divide that figure by 10. Some 1.29 million, right?
You are dividing it by what? You are dividing it by what?
$1.29 billion.
You are dividing it by what?
Now you see.
Hello, Honorable Minority Chief. You are dividing it by what?
Can I conclude? I want to conclude. Our majority leader, clearly, leader, your Boku mathematics is suspect. Majority leader, revisit your Boku mathematics. Your Boku mathematics is suspect. Now, we are not inventing these figures. These figures were prepared at the instance of the president by the finance minister. If you doubt, majority leader, don't oscillate. Don't oscillate. If you doubt these figures, I quoted the pages to you.
Yes.
And I quoted the figures to you. If you doubt it, come back and respond to these figures. We thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minority Chief. You are done.
We are happy that we have the capacity, and in the next 4 years, we will retool the Ghana Air Force and we will invest 1.2 billion United States dollars in the Air Force. We won. In the Air Force. We won. For 4 years. That's the problem. So just
Enti se miya be ma se obetia. Yewia abu Samuel Jinapo ehya ase ana all ka kire Ghana fo nyina se munya nte de ekoso a and this abanse or the 1.2 billion US dollars ekwa akoto plane e de abre Jomahama mane de atukwan. And this is for study almost there be any of budget to yen train over biasa say a quacoto plane at the abre Ghana for Nepo a 1.2 billion. Bra, another pressure the ya or the entry mobile be a yatre or the page number. Item number yatre no budget to them ever to abontreno. At the end, no, the SCN say the majority leader, your friend. Sabio Mahama Yarega, Papa na won to mean sign ko ni kuromu biem and nam and throwing contompontino. aso da bedina ka kire Ghana for say omo no eye omo de say omo betumi edi sabio 1.3 billion US dollars ekwa akoto plane edi abre John Mahama say omfa nante na omfa nye den eni de ewo wiasim na once NDC for this time ye can say confusion na ato omo no ene animguase na ato omo enne no this time asem bi obeka bia no eya na omo afa reference na MPP for mo ti aban mu mo ntimi anye sei ena ye na ye beye ena ye na ye beye afei mama yarega di ntro na wi a e wo se nka ompa omo achew na nka ontwa mu nko no osane dane na no a osese MPP amanyoko baaye saa nema we bia no mo ntumi anye amma Ghana man eho ena the former defense minister yenyina yenim se MPP the budget ko parliament during the time of Nanado Senko mo pese omonto private jet fufuro any military helicopters said be omotumi di aboa because helicopters ni binom enye adwuma yie yenya NDC for mo ba bonten be ye dede se na Ghana ye hia ehu hia komode ye na asefo bete ne parliament Mahama Yarga wadi ntro twa ntro wo senka ompa Ghana for achew for ntro wadi e parliament no asambie na no a de be pie na no aba ne se we are ose omoye omo ani age se omo moma tumi anya sika se omo beto plane private jet presidential jet any helicopter e de ama Ghana asoja for eho and the former minister of Ghana oye MPP ni eso dina se dabi nyanto wase you are making comments enye no kure because ye nyina nim ha ye tikro we mu and the issue say yakwa akoto plane foforo de ama aban na ya to military helicopters de ama soja for ebeye one of the major issue sabi we betima ka say ena me no so kura posu ntie ma MPP elusu election enti wasem na wo kan ye na de ya wo mu ne say the inflated yankan the same price na NDC for the aba parliament and na otwere ho a wonte ase wo de yankre kokotie said the win so esan kosi yankonkotie mra
mismanage the economy. You could not even raise money. You could not raise money to support the efforts.
So what tieni ye pa obi a wadi ntro first say ba piani ho pale e wo budget no ma ya twere se ye de 1.2 billion ekoto pre no yete ne to no afedi osie MPP for mo ntumi manage economy ni ye se mo betumi anya sika mpo e de akoto pre aboa the military yentie the response why by me say parliament on budget no akire exactly say NDC is a confused political party yentie.
Mr. Speaker, I have the right to correct him. Mr. Speaker, we came here in 2023, Mr. Speaker. No, 2022, Mr. Speaker, July. I laid in this house the purchase of 6 LNG fighter jets for this our nation. Mr. Speaker, the cost of those aircraft at that time, the commitment we gave this nation was 150 million euro at a rate of 15 cedis to 1 euro. If you calculate, that's 1.6 billion Ghana cedi. Mr. Speaker, we committed this nation at one time, not 4 years, to 1.6 billion Ghana cedi. So when you say that we didn't do it, that is not true. That's the first thing I want you to know. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, secondly, it is a fact that your side led the rejection of the purchase of just 1 presidential jet. 1. Today you want to buy 2. And you will not apologize to the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I'll get the chance to speak tomorrow. I will tell you why there are 2 presidential jets.
The issue on the floor. The issue on the floor.
Entertain ye po. Mahama Yarigan himself play smart game. Eba beka say, mo ampupi for kramon kama no ntum. Na mo ba ye no. Mo ntumi anye sika mpo se mo de kwa akoto plane e de ama asojafo ene abai. Ye nyina yetede the former defense minister Honorable Dominic Intinu e kan say da bi nyanto wa she ye kan say ye kwa akoto fighters jet ya de fight the asojafo e de ball man na ho ban say atamfo bi ye o ma so mo ba be fight against our country. Ye ka say ye kwa akoto nsia e de abre Ghana ban. Mo NDC fo na mo so di etia ye. Mo sori ye etia na den se mo ntia hye. Ye san ke se kwa koto flight e di ama the president. Eno so be ya asem kese a okuje tabra kwa na no ne sense sembo grass. E be ke kansem bebre. Ena George Wi akura timi yusu Ghana presidential jet. Adenti akufo ado no kura etia untimi yusu Sami Jamfi Basinteli Mare ensem bebre na nkrofo we beka ye kwasi ampanyina ye frɛ what is the name Ningo Pram ampi akwana wa boti se manken no ensem ne nkwasi asem a mo keka ye ade wure firi ana na de ya wo mo ne se MPP wanted to buy 6 fight jet so they magana buy. And I don't say omonto 1 presidential jet. So modema yewura president. Some fun to quite. In all, no, and the MPP was demanding 1.6 billion Ghana cedis. And then Sabra no na yemfan se cedi the 15 cedis per $1. And now almost say $1 at that 10 no. And this is for they are demanding how many? They are demanding 1.2 billion. In million, no. In billion cities, so $1.2 billion. Mom no mono. Omo pe edakoto subject no. Now I know monim so mo ye smart, but omonim say you can never be smarter than your master. Enti omu twa ntro we no. Ye will be so ye minister, former minister, onim de course and onim de call in terms of amino de to the mom or mumfi de kwa ye fast of freno. Oh, yes, service via man in some of us saying a sheer good form.
As a former minister in charge of defense, does retooling amount to purchase of presidential jets?
I will say it now. Mr. Speaker, I'll say it now, but I'll repeat tomorrow. But let me read.
Entity speaker person on smart. Say so speaker boy NDC. And to person defending the party because I say retooling. I say yes, I don't know why he have to ask that question because retooling. Yes, I'm a more candy. And I guess a candy. It can means a lot. But by all means, you are training what budget. What do they want to use that word retooling for? And no, and a man in Babachim. You are more trainer.
Mr. Speaker, let me read page 136. Mr. Speaker, go to page 136, paragraph 1091. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Air Force will be retooled. Full stop. Beginning 2026, the government of Ghana will begin the procurement processes for the acquisition of 4 modern helicopters and 1 long range and 1 medium range aircraft. These are presidential jets. A long range aircraft is not for the Air Force, it's for your comfort. It's presidential jets. The medium size, a long, look, Boeing jets or Airbus jets are the long ones. And I mentioned that we did that one. They carry no less than 100 people. The medium range carry at least 25 people. They are all presidential jets.
So what? And the NDC for him said they wanted to play smart, but they don't know, sir. enipa no omo ne omo parliament omo ye MPP for no they are smart, they are intelligent. Omo kan ade omo te ase enti nka atofo se pese onfamfa ase se they are going to retooling tikeke se retooling a nanka MPP for MPs nakata omo ani se omo nte ase. But the MPs no are on their feet. Enti brad ye kono no ena me no ka say NDC aban pese on to 4 military helicopters, more than one. Said the omode report no ba ya omosi e say Ghana aban ento helicopters ewo technology a ebetumi aboa in case of emergency in the air. E don pese omonto 4. Eno achi no on pese omonsanto 2 private jet emfama the presidency. Abusia Nanado, hey, Nana Unyankopon. Look at what they did to Nanado Danko Kufuado Abain. A minister way at the budget by parliament say, yen to pray Fama Ghana Abain. Pedomodieno, and a commodie, Docono Boyedre, ye Pediani edi. And at the NDC Abansi will hear 2 private jet, and ya 1. A 2 co. Na Jimmy Fobi go radio be so. Obeko. Na nkwasiafo bi go media house bi so bomb hama ban abaswa. You understand actually say omo nti de omo kan say because the budget na omo de aba parliament wono. Eye either say omo de ehwe comfortable, omo pe comfort. Say omo abra bomo be ye omo ebe ye omo kama ma aban ne nimpanfo. Ana se kwa omo fa so a omo pa adwuma de ama NDC for ayankom we aye the defense side though. Now Mr. Budget when at parliament to na NDC for na dey call you, but I think say a fair MPP for NDC for the omo no parliament to them, the omo no budget to them, because the way omo NDC for na faso a debate on the budget no nke ya me say omo the AI omo the AI and a trade sa budget omo the chat GPT and a trade sa budget no enye nipa na tena se trade because I wonder because normally in kawo your budget here every sector reference, health reference, defense, agriculture, transportation obia ethic sector nanka watena fie na waye ntotoye na odi akoma minister of finance na minister of finance so ahwem ahu de odwere se ehu hia se yenye na odi akochere president na president I guess okay we manage ho but said the about said the budget na say ye the in artificial intelligence and they create a budget no so we ye budget because omo ankasa omo de buy no they actually no budget no omo nim. And this a minister of transport of today sorry say or commenting on the budget concerning transportation or can now a mistake I just MPP for no and the budget said there be any son ya training say it way yesterday apart from so best no because mahama ya there budget ne do mo anim no they cannot read and understand what is actually written in it now o de yanko yanim we na a defense side. Now, let's go to the financial and the physical and the creating of job. I honso kwajo pon kromanso. Ebetu jagum actually me say majority leader ya mahama yarega wuntumi nko boku biem. Enye boku nkwa na wuntumi nko. But wasanya bon because we are the leader of government business. I was saying to actually the economy but you are still confused. You don't understand the budget you have in front of you. How he was schooling the full NDC MPs in the parliament.
A lot of work that needs to be done. Mr. Speaker, I want to start off by looking at some of the things that are being applauded. If it is about achieving a negative rate of debt accumulation, the first person to have done that was Yaosafo Mafu in 2001. If it is about single-digit inflation based on sterilization, where you suck money from the banks and the asset management companies. The one who did that, it was Dr. Kwabena Dufo, and when he finished, people gave him a name. They said it was unprecedented. 3 years of single-digit inflation. When Osafo Mafu did it, they were calling him Oya DA Osafo Mafu. If it's about cutting taxes, in 2017, Ken Ofori-Atta cut over 14 taxes. Go and see the way they were jubilating in Abosokai. Mr. Speaker, if we, the political class, continue with this exercise of exciting ourselves and dancing over these temporary gains, and we don't deal with the structural issues, all you need is one major shock to the Ghanaian economy and you are back to square one. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of my colleagues to the tables, and I beg of them to take time and read the tables. Let me take them to Appendix 2A. Appendix 2A. Mr. Speaker, I ask them to please take their budgets and read with me Appendix 2A. Half year when we came to this chamber, we warned our colleagues on the government bench that the revenue measures you have put in place, contrary to your thinking that it will raise more revenue so that you can meet your expenditure commitments, it will not meet the target. Mr. Speaker, half year when we came here, revenue was underperforming by 3 billion Ghana cedis. In fact, if you read the all of government report published by the Controller and Accountant General, contrary to their claim that we didn't leave them buffers, the balance brought forward from 2024 is 11 billion Ghana cedis. If you add that to the 3 billion, their revenue shortfall at half year was 14 billion. Mr. Speaker, as at now, the revenue shortfall is 8 billion. If you look at the numbers, 8 billion, and if you add that 11 billion to it, that is 19 billion. Mr. Speaker, if Hansard and our colleagues who are here will be truthful to themselves, mid-year, we told them here that by the end of the year, they will have to cut expenditure by 30 billion because their revenue is not performing. Today, when you look at the tables, you have cut expenditure by 28 billion. Then you cut 30 billion because revenue is not performing. Why is that important? Because, Mr. Speaker, all the promises that you make, if you are not able to mobilize the revenue, you cannot fulfill it. If you go into the tables and you find the numbers that were promised us, the team from finance told us that they were going to remove taxes and they won't bring new taxes, and that after they have implemented this new fiscal strategy, they will get more revenue. Remember, the finance minister told us that he was going to move tax to GDP ratio, in fact revenue to GDP ratio, from 13% to 18%. I'm sure we all remember. Mr. Speaker, when we were leaving power, revenue as a percentage of GDP was 16%. After they implemented their strategy, revenue is now underperforming. It's now at 11% of GDP. Colleagues, if you haven't taken time to look at the tables, you have lost 5% of GDP on revenue. You think there's more money? 5% of GDP, that is 5% of 1 trillion, is 50 billion Ghana cedis. If you don't understand it, please let me explain some more. What boka 50 billion? And that is why you have had to cut your expenses. And Mr. Speaker, the expenses they have cut, it's not just numbers. The 28 billion they have cut is not numbers. They are teachers who were waiting to be recruited. And because this government has played politics with the revenue strategy, they are at home. They are nurses who are waiting to be recruited. Because you have played politics with the revenue strategy, they are sitting at home. They are contractors who are waiting to be paid. And because you have been doing politics with the revenue strategy, they have not been paid. Mr. Speaker, they are the flagship programs that young Ghanaians are waiting for this government to fund. And because they've been doing politics with it, they cannot fund even their own flagship programs. So, Mr. Speaker, when we are drawing their attention to the fact that their revenue strategy is not performing, they can dance and sing as much as they want in the chamber. The results out there will show them. Mr. Speaker, 2025, they promised to spend 51 million Ghana cedis on the Women's Bank. They did not spend it. Then this year, without providing any report on it, they announced that they've increased the budget to 400 million and that it is a credible budget. Does that sound like credibility to you? 2025, you promised 1.5 billion to the agri sector to improve agriculture. You haven't done much. In fact, it took 1 day to the budget before they launched in Kokon Kitinkiti. Zero work done. And then now you come and promise 2 billion cedis for agric, and you say it is a credible budget. Does that sound credible to you? You promised 300 million for apprenticeship program. Where are the apprentices? What work are they doing? Nothing happens, and then you come back and promise another 170 million. Does that sound like credibility? So colleagues, in all humility, if you stop dancing in the chamber and pay attention to the numbers, you realize that you have a big problem. In fact, we all have a big problem that we have to fix. When you say this, then they say, oh, the cedi has appreciated by 30%. Inflation is down. Monetary policy rate is down. And so by Papa. Mr. Speaker, let me take my time to draw the attention once again to a few more things. In the beginning, we told them that, colleagues, this currency that has appreciated by 30% is a matter of fact, but it is because you are pumping dollars into the economy. You will recall, Mr. Speaker, that when we said it, the governor of the central bank told us on the 30th of April 2025, and I quote, "The Bank of Ghana is not injecting dollars to support the cedi stability." This is a matter of record. We kept insisting that they were pumping. So when the Bishops' Conference visited the president at Jubilee House, they inquired of him that, Mr. President, the minority said that you are pumping and that the fundamentals haven't changed. Mr. President told them that no, it's not true, and that it is effective leadership that was leading to the gains of the cedi. We kept reading the summary of economic and financial data and telling them that, colleagues, you are pumping. It took the IMF to draw their attention and ask them to stop, and then the depreciation resumed. When it resumed, by the 10th of September, when the president held the press conference, the media asked him that, Mr. President, it has started depreciating again. That was when the president admitted and said the Bank of Ghana had been intervening, and it is when they stopped that the depreciation has resumed. Mr. Speaker, the IMF has instructed the central bank, and I can say on authority, that henceforth, every month before they pump, they should announce. And that is why on the 5th of October, the Bank of Ghana announced that they were going to pump 1.15. And on the 3rd of November, they announced that they were going to pump another 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, from January till now, the Bank of Ghana has pumped not less than 8 billion cedis to shore up, $8 billion, I beg your pardon, to shore up the currency. Ghana's import bill so far is about $14 billion. So the normal supply of dollar in the economy will give us problems. It is this pumping that is holding us up. Mr. Speaker, what we should do is to take advantage of the windfall forex that we are getting from the gold purchase program and fix the structural issues. Else you can dance as much as you want in the chamber. If we are hit by one challenge, we will be in trouble. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to inflation, if you don't tackle the supply side issues, and all that you are doing is that you are sterilizing, the consequence, Mr. Speaker, will be that you will claim inflation has come down, but the lived experience of people out there will be that the prices of the average goods and services they are buying is going up. Mr. Speaker, if you say that the monetary policy rate of the central bank has come down, so interest rates are solid, I beg of you to check the average lending rate and the stock of credit to private sector. You will find that it hasn't reflected. So we have serious issues to deal with. We should not reduce it to name calling and dancing and singing. Else, one major shock, we'll be back to where we are. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me focus my attention on the real sector. Agric, you promised 1.5 billion investment into two major things, Feed Ghana and Nkukon Kitinkiti. Nkukon Kitinkiti, you launched it one day before you came to read the second of your 4 budgets. So how much investment has gone into it? Zero. Feed Ghana, how much has gone into it? Where are the farmers who are supposedly benefiting from it for it to lead to an improvement in agriculture? So real sector investment, growth and jobs is not happening. Industry. In fact, you inherited a 1D, 1F program. I beg your pardon. You said it was a bad program and that you are replacing it with a 24-hour economy program. No problem. The National Development Planning Commission of the Republic of Ghana has reported that the 1D, 1F program left 150 factories that were functioning. That is 18 factories a year. So in 2025, when you suspended the 1B1F program, the opportunity cost is 18 factories that could have created jobs for young people. You said 24-hour economy program. Where are the factories? How many jobs? You ended up even by telling us that in 2026, we should not expect a program and a budget. Now you say you are going to give us 110 million for the 24-hour economy factory. You have no program to create industrial jobs. Mr. Speaker, in the budget, they say they are going to create 800,000 jobs. And I saw my brother John Dumelo dancing at the back there that Ato is forcing because he's announced 800,000 jobs. They forgot that the next paragraph says that 490,000 of those jobs are laborers. Paragraph 501, please listen. Mr. Speaker, 63 billion Ghana cedis worth of road contracts awarded so far under the big push, and it will generate 490,000 jobs. So your 800,000 jobs that you are announcing in your own budget, almost 500,000 of them are going to be manual labor on road projects. I was in Cape Coast University 2 days ago. The students who are about to graduate, those in the technical universities, you don't have plans for them. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by reminding our colleagues that if this budget really intends to create growth and jobs, they need to be investing in the job creating initiatives. You can make all the noise that you want. If your revenue doesn't perform, you won't get the money to invest in it. If your revenue doesn't perform and you don't invest it in the things that will create jobs, the young people will come for you at the end of the day. You say you don't have fiscal space, you are doing fiscal discipline. So I was shocked to hear you say that now you have space to buy a new executive jet. Two, actually. You don't have fiscal space. You don't have fiscal space to finish paying the contractors on outstanding projects. But you have fiscal space to buy 2 executive jets. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to conclude by reminding our colleagues, your revenue strategy is not performing. You don't have resources to expend. You are pumping because gold prices is at $4,000. It may not be there forever. You have 2 more budgets to go. I beg of you, spend it doing the real structural issues, not dancing over temporary results. Else, we'll be back here some other time. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Say be I wanted the economy Obetanasima radio for TV for ye to omoka. I divert to attention say John Mahama is doing something particular. Onye real. The oye nyina na a mess. The oye nyina a mess. The anti American sir. How can you as a president or as a government of a republic ultimately say any initiative ne a policy be bar Emma wo aban in just 11 months of your government? Sika utumijiji fidi kronum a sote of about 50 billion Ghana cedis. Ubayede na wenye sika na odia ya juma obabeye. Oko fasika no way. Emhwehwe wanimu ene nkwase decision ntino ene Ghana aban elusu 50 billion Ghana cedis every year. But we know my for say more abaso. Let me give you this example for this. Ghana are buying friend John Dariga Dramani Mahama. The budget we or the buy what can see pise or the 270 million kwa koto ma part eba be chairman school for nkura mayoa. Brother, sister, me be ma wutie me. Do you know the amount of one factory the produce part? $29 million. Tell me you. Se o pese un produce, se o pese un si factory timi produce a ma part de ma or more. We here only $29 million. Now the AC factory. As you see factory now, ubetimi afa amamfo adwuma nkwara amomwa ya adwuma. Odi akura no $229 million now odi koto pad no. Odi yi ni 29 sana fasisi a pad factories in all the region. A year 16 region. 29 times 16. 2 times 6 times 16. A year 30. Which is almost the same amount. Which is almost the same amount. Odi a year 16 in 10 regions. See a pad factory or not 200 no. Yem fancy factory na yem fan krofo adwuma na omum produce pad na fama a school for no dabi John Mahama say o Ghana for to akoto pad e fra bruchire e de abra Ghana for nkwada ama omo abo adan a papa ne maame fo omo ti omo fie omo hawe da omo so no say omo ntumi nya sika emfa ntop pad e ma omo ma bra sa budget re de abeto parliament ho a NDC atia journalist ka se omomo NDC aban so no omomo NDC aban aba so no eye plano eye trickish eye way to deceive people me ba ba chiro de nti ekosa de nti omo ye sha ne se won se na nsin bi achepa apronya ba be ka asem bi se NDC fo aye meeting se omo be sha ase ama ahemfo ahemfo asofofo aba abonten abeka se adwuma pa Mahama eye ntino ye man another term na onko term eye sa plan no omo de ba no omo ahyase na omo pass onema no e de agu ho enti sa nkrofo no hu omo bo Mahama abaso wo TV so na wa ya ade na hwan omo boa Mahama ye nim dada papa otimi promise already Yankopon. He is the promising president. Otimi promise. So bikura pelodina or the nebemano. Abusha like a video national inquiry. Otimi promise to the point to say, Ope offense and Lodina Kurana or the nebemao. Ayasebo. Entis our promises na yedia banaye empty. A train of paper so. Sikani ye chira ye de be den ye de be sustain sa promises no but ye person create society num ye magana from feel see there's something going on me bema how can you pump an a tune of $8 billion into the economy I won't find you bibi amfa so be so just to create availability of dollars yes oha ena Mahama be kan kire say with only $4 billion, no, Obetimia complete all the agenda 111 project in Ghana. We're journeying in Aguho, Anka ye complete Anka, a nurse for or more soon never Ghana and Kibetima for more Juma. And so that be pumping, ye must see the number 10. A dear Bettina jump to 11, a dear Bettina jump to 12. Udrin who I want to say, among can occurrence of crunch though. Into your masha said I saw more a kind of strategical indoctrination. Yes, say Ghana for Adrian. Say Mama Haman got them. Would it your video way?
Gruma, or say Asem Kankan Yensusosu.
I didn't hear.
Asem Kankan Yensusosu.
Wakasa a matter of law. And you need
John Mahama, who can Asem now see an addendum?
President John Mahama.
President John Mahama, who can I say addendum 24 years? No, 4 years. What happened in Ghana? And then they see, then in the history of Ghana, no be lose election with 1 million votes plus.
No chrono
difference.
Now who there who be a clean sheet.
Any chrono.
Who call to be evidence book or court.
A court.
Who call to evidence court.
Something to us,
Obi.
Yes.
Yeah, who know? Constitution here clear. We are ever track a cancer we are. Then you make a social come me. The identity chief justice my free home. Because you could test it.
The echo so high papa when a near bra. Where Johnny say, yes, papa be a friend Duncan Williams. I bring your kai. Papa never Duncan Williams and Abba and say when your prophecy say, I was Sega Major Mahama, Enco third term. And I will be a discussion in the studio. And I'm peeping in my way. Wasum and or digest the information on the board. You Supreme
Court. I then appointed for me. The identity ye chief justice my free ho. Because you could test it. Because we go Supreme Court. I then near appointed for honor. I then near changing the judiciary across the country. Is it an agenda to make the court say, oh yeah, they are crawford by a basis of constitution. Kagana for 7 years on the judge in 3 months. Some NDC for movies some winning with about 1.4 difference. Over majority movies are Ghana Yamudia, Ghana Yamudia, you find Chemo. Nipa na wakana sem no 4 years ago. Obedi 12 years ago. Obe president. Obi ahuin said we hwe poto. Ye peno. Obi ahuin enti wo peno enyo bia na peno. Ye peno man kala me. All right. Say ye peno. Wo peno a enyo bia na peno. You don't come and sit there and bring in this bogus useless agenda.
It is some point you are saying, sir. You are vehemently opposed to the idea
but why should even somebody say when you prophesy? When you prophecy, and your prophecy no can. On you can prophecy na. Yeah,
medical can prophecy na dey no.
Sa agenda no ni ya dey offer asuma kwashi she baby yan kasem obi hu na yan fan krokro no. What? Na yen nyame na microphone na dwuna omo ye constitution ma ye no. Yen nyame
but say on only route now all can meaning say
me count there me funny there can me can officially there what kind of
even if we want to go with the prophecy still the laws would have to change.
Yes.
And America say if they don't use the constitutional amendment route now ABR they want to go to the Supreme Court invoking Article 2 for interpretation. That's another route, and I think that's where he is coming from.
Why
as to say a ruling of the court can take retroactive effect in another thing.
Woman nipa wo party no. So bet my president after Mahama.
I know fa.
Woman ni obi a.
I know fa ho.
Enti Julius no ne amabo anom ne Edwin Ketia ne Eric Pokunwa woman nyina e ni vice president woman nyina person be the president no. Woman fata.
No far.
Inti yemfa kululu yemfa nko fa court yesi chief justice no yesi justice ni bi yemfa nko fa court yenko constitution interpretation niemu an 50 mayen
ti say na mo ye 90 ni 7
yemu an 50 mayen sana semnity
it was are so mo the confusion bebe kuruma
sana semnity Obi Ghana for are not ready. And some no and some no
for no wine. 38%.
Obi,
yes.
That is their thinking.
Sometimes
one more thinking, no.
Yes.
Even a minority of 1%. Boko Haram for no one Nigeria, no one the same percentage of Nigeria.
And they
look at the mayhem they are creating there. And do not sit here and say, we are 38%.
Lawyer Andrew Ejapamesa said, Obi, this call for a third term for President Mahama, is it a tacit admission by the NDC that they don't have any other person qualified enough to be president post President Mahama?
It's not your
lawyer
business,
Andrew
brother.
Ejapamesa is
it's
not your business.
It shouldn't be. It be.
Your party assembly.
What can I be? I don't know the YG assembly. Me draw attention.
Proceed.
Obi, Ghana Sebi. So even 3%, the 3% no, you bet me sorry. You bet me sorry here.
Adia if we say
embryo. No be 8 months. The 9th month no crowd no time upon a crowd to me still birth. The bit me woo your funum 9 months. And tomorrow they say embryo any day.
Somebody if it so happens or reaction by the what Jay said it is something that can happen.
I've not phantomed that into my thoughts.
For you, Kwade, it is not inconceivable.
What? Now, Bijan say President Mahama buy 10 months. A dear power extraordinary. And oye Captain Planet Hawaii or Ghana. Tell us. Of course, yes, because we create we dear or time Any bre
Editiana nado.
hatred, jealousy, envy. And I'm with the Ghana for mu. And none of Belk must be a concoct. None of convoy more than 45 vehicles. It's a kufa to the 13, 12, 10 vehicles. Mokame said that the Ghana is Kenya 12. And because we are say, you never say the Indian behind him says Kanina. I'm borrowing that theory from Maslow.
Yes.
Abraham Maslow. Ohiani bia ni se tikani na amna nyeye enti wo de ni bre no tension ni pamu a de aba no abana 2024 no but apart from other economic factors and the rest no majority was based on hatred, envy and jealousy
against who?
Because that's why you created and then in the modern Makufad what can I say said the brown president you created him as a monster of international appeal. They're inviting him all across the globe.
The globe.
Say Emra speech na so for.
No, you're not asking.
What you say? Oh yeah, phone said the mo person mo kanu a enkobenya that
radio so trouble.
No, so what me eka.
Eba me repeating your ma enye.
Oh, when you make such statements, mo ka san sam na. Eya na time no be. Inte me tran ka say mo de ade no maye. A dear part 10 months. Me ba.
Yes.
And my sister ba. This year me and I'm doing secondary school. A man pabwa play deck can ye 50 cedis, 80 cedis. Me to about 120 cedis.
Kind play deck.
You kind man pabwa the Wesley girls for play deck.
Okay. Me them tell me them my friend Sanders. Okay, class Sanders no the school.
Yes. A man there no.
Now you 50 about 80 cedis. He say you 120 cedis. 4 mattresses say Tom Mukoda school. And one see one more textbooks. So from a quota 400 Ghana for Obia each. And now no more be bad says textbooks, extra textbooks, 700 per head. Who better has a dear no my say a $1 above.
Yes, Abusia, the economy said they are bringing the Kambeka. Say NDC for Shada prepare grounds because Omopese Mahama enko the third term. Man for Barbontin say yen no cre. Mahama Ankasa Ba said there be onko and yano kreno. Me, I told people on this channel, say, don't trust John Mahama. Or you'll be on him contom put your pan him through the. Also, Mwasha no more create some situations be say Mahama better could national why ya de papa be. So what yasma papa panini ekaya. Simple things are not before, and then another danko kufu to a buying na breso. Anagana for sure move because NDC was able to create that impression saying and to a buying and a man nipa a binum prenya bianini or mabrabo. And those simple things, nebo no sra na ekro. But okay, yes inflation at your form. Okay, yes dollar to city about form. What is the sense of in it? If you have all this inflation and figures, would they born once for him? Nasa bi okoko ani pa be dikro ntumi ntoni mane ye. It is clear say abanwe no wa fairly but opese use that manner of controlling of the media no. Controlling of the media now. They want to use that manner to make sure say and near my bonny and cosu or my near my bonten. And in ten and aquasi and penny jan to us no pa no Tishra FM na opo Mahama basono. Because a juma yasheda atnase a crafting ye. And tia say ne a suffer for binoma shase a camp prophecy. A binum a confobinum mashase a prophecy. A himfo a binum swashase or more prophecy. Then say the agenda of John Mahama, which is create an impression, say everything is going on well, no. Or Mashase or Muya Juma. Said the Baya. So we are lower, we show one can say lower mandata. Unioning quite clear. I'm able to use that manner to demand and to make you think, say, Mahama needs to go for the third term. Say your papa sampani can. Saturday no when you plano. What was they say the Chief Justice, unity. And Oheya, there was nobody, a single man, single woman in NDC. Na Sabio and some form Mahama did deep army way. Na onye dako. Ninyana say, omunim what is the agenda behind, because Mami Tokono, onye NDC ni, and onye MPP ni. Enti se obana go so ba be constitution interpretation bi say yemfa mra bi mra na mra na makwan mama hama enko tetema omunim se ma amene nte ase. So all what they have to do, and he said they must to get rid of that woman. Said they be omodi omuni pa ba be si so the Chief Justice na se ye de sa kwase mra bi court ho a ono no judge na Ghana fo anima kan kire omo se e no kore mra no e be atom, but emma so. Let this message goes direct to every NDC executive. Nigerian said he can make a constitutional law a retroactive, which can never happen in Ghana. Sabahama say ope moja anase ope emoja anom ewo mainum so be di tetema o de onko so no nye sa agenda no na enye yie, because asoja for na wapam or more food balance one, they are all around and you will see what will happen to you. Abusia Ras Media GH. Midiane Mr. Mafo. Mr. Sebo Modern. Na subscribe to the channel. Found sa esi adomano so. Said the beya. Me the video tum aname ba life wa. Obey one of the people mum sabeka video no. Na wapa na be support to ene aye. Uwie nso a don't forget to say obey like video no. Na wama video no akona nim. Midin ene Mr. Mafo. Akra mu nyina. Until we meet again. Adios.